thank you so much for joining me today. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you how I naturally healed from anemia without the use of supplementation, no iron supplements, using instead the power and the medicine of food. If you're new to this channel, my name is Tumi. I'm a medical doctor, I'm a poet, I'm a dancer, and I love to create content on this channel to support your most delicious, conscious, and healthy living. If you are interested in plant-based living, raw veganism, if you're interested in minimalism, voluntary simplicity, holistic health tips in general, consider subscribing down below. I love to create this kind of content and infuse it with my dance. I want to take you back to, let's go back about 10 years, maybe 12, 11 years ago. At the time I was living in New York City, I was a physician and a dancer, as I still am now, but those days I was working in the hospital and I was working also as a dancer in a dance company. And I was pretty happy with my life. I had a great group of friends. I loved living in New York City. And things were good, except that they weren't great. I was suffering from a lot of issues health-wise, but the one I want to focus on today is anemia. I knew I was anemic. I'd gotten my blood tested, and as a physician, I was able to read and understand what the results were. And I had a pretty good sense that my anemia came from the fact that I had pretty heavy, painful periods. So my mood, my menstrual blood flow was pretty significant every month. And every month I would just take an Advil, ibuprofen, and I would keep it moving. And I figured, okay, this isn't the reason for my anemia. And because I'm feeling tired, because I'm feeling a little bit weak sometimes and unable to perform as well as I want to, stamina-wise, because of my anemia. And my anemia, I will say that my hemoglobin was about 9, which is on the lower side. I started to supplement with iron supplements. And I also knew as a physician that one of the things people hate about iron, which me included, supplements, is that it's pretty constipating. And so I would feel bloated, I would feel uncomfortable because of the constipation brought about by the iron supplements. I tried another variant of iron supplements called ferrous sequels, as opposed to ferrous sulfate, that helped a little bit, but it was just not great, and I didn't feel like I was improving that much. And my hemoglobin levels were a little bit better, but not much. Around 2010, 2011, I was deep in nutrition research. I'd come back from West Africa. I've talked about that in other videos, working with Doctors Without Borders and really opening my eyes to the importance of nutrition in healing. And all that research led me to plant-based lifestyle, plant-based diet. In 2011, I switched to a Living Foods plant-based diet and never looked back. And steadily, a few things changed almost overnight. Eczema, my asthma within 2 weeks, my anemia, the anemia that I had, started improving steadily and steadily and steadily, to the point that about 6 to 9 months after shifting my diet, when I returned to get my blood tests, my hemoglobin levels, hematocrit levels were normal, which is incredible. Without iron supplements, I stopped taking iron supplements, when I shifted my diet. I've never had any issues with anemia since, and that was 10 years ago. Throughout my pregnancy, and I continue to be lactating and breastfeeding my child, no anemia. I wanted to share this story because very recently I had yet another client that I had the privilege of working with who was suffering from anemia. And I also had a request from one of you to make a video around my healing journey with anemia. And I wanted to share my story because I think that there's some important lessons that might be useful to you if you're somebody who's struggling with anemia and don't want to take iron supplements or haven't felt good on the iron supplements. The first one is what I love to share and what I really is a big part of my practice as a physician when I work with patients and clients, which is that it's so important to always look for the underlying cause of dis-ease. In my case, the anemia that I was suffering from, the underlying cause of that was my dysmenorrhea, or heavy painful periods or moon cycle. That's why I had anemia. There can be many different causes for anemia. Just a few of them. In the medical world, we talk about anemia of chronic disease. That's one kind of anemia. That itself can come from many different reasons, such as alcoholism, liver disease, kidney disease, cancer, Crohn's disease. These are just a couple of reasons that could cause this issue. Another type of anemia is iron deficiency anemia, and that's the kind I had because I was having heavy bleeding and many days of bleeding during my menstrual cycle. So it's very important to not just think about the numbers and the fact that you might be anemic, but to understand why you are anemic. And for that reason, I do think blood work can be really helpful. If you're feeling wonderful and you don't feel the need to check blood work, fine. But if you're fatigued, if you are feeling a sense of low energy, blood work, and I know I'm biased as a physician, I think can be really helpful. And if it shows that you are anemic, getting something called a complete blood count, CBC, with a differential that really breaks those numbers down and shows the different types of cells can help show the reason for the anemia. I really recommend working with a physician or a healthcare practitioner who understands diagnostic medicine and can help to read, understand, and interpret these numbers to then create a holistic plan that resonates with you. So what I'm trying to say is figure out the underlying cause for the anemia. Blood work can be super helpful. And then I also want to say that I think changing one's diet or shifting one's diet is so helpful for many causes of anemia, because diet often is medicine and can get to underlying causes of things much easier and much, I think, more efficaciously than a lot of times just taking pills and supplements, which mask the symptoms, suppress the symptoms, and maybe buy you some time, but again, don't address the real root cause. I like to describe it as having, for example, a sieve or colander or even a funnel. And in the case of anemia, and let's say you're taking supplements, or you're even taking IV iron once in a while, getting blood transfusions once in a while, or taking supplements. If you're just taking those supplements in, and you have a sieve, you have these holes, or it's a funnel. The funnel or the sieve, I'm saying that because you're not either absorbing it or you are leaking that out because of heavy periods, like in my case. It's like taking 2 steps forward and then 1 step, or maybe 2 steps back. You're constantly playing catch up. And so without addressing that hole, the sieve, the holes, the funnel, without addressing that and healing that, you're constantly playing catch up and you're not addressing the real reason for the anemia. So it's vital to do this. It's vital to get a true diagnosis for why you are anemic and then address it holistically. In my case, shifting my diet to a plant foods diet healed the issue because, and this can be sometimes so revelatory, the diet I had, full of processed food and animal products, was causing hormonal imbalances within me. It was causing gut irritation within me and inflammation within me. And therefore, I wasn't absorbing the iron that I was eating. And I was eating fish and other animal products that had iron in them. But because I wasn't absorbing well, and because I was getting hormonally imbalanced due to those foods, I was having heavy, painful periods and thus losing blood. When I stopped eating the animal products and started eating a diet full of fruits and vegetables, healthy amounts of nuts and seeds, sprouts, I gave myself plant sources of iron, and the inflammation in my body went so low that I wasn't having issues with absorption, and my periods, my menstrual cycle became, and I don't use this word lightly, pleasant. I wasn't having heavy periods. They were light, painless, and I stopped bleeding so much. And so the anemia resolved again within 6 to 9 months. And I've not had that issue since. I have a video on my channel you can check out about how I holistically navigate through my menstrual cycle, my moon, in a way that's pleasant and pleasurable, full of intuition. It's an amazing time for me. I just finished my moon recently, and just the amount of connectivity and intuition and quiet and rest, I love it. I look forward to it every month. And that's a very different story to when 10 years ago I would go through my menstrual period. So those are the take-home points. I want to see if there's anything else I want to share with you around that. You know, I think having a holistic approach to whatever you are going through is vitally important. And in my book, Delicious Healing, I talk about 7 aspects of healing that I used in my life to heal from a variety of issues, from anemia to eczema, to asthma, to severe depression, to eating disorders. And if you haven't read the book, I highly suggest it. And I say that with humility because it felt like a book that really was downloaded from spirit, sharing my professional and my personal experience using holistic practices. The name of the book is Delicious Healing. I'll leave a link to that in the description box below. There is an audiobook version that I'm really proud of that I finished and completed last year that you can find also on my website. I would love to hear from you. If there's anything that you took from this video that you're excited to implement or that you didn't know before, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to get your feedback and hear from you. And also let me know if there are any other videos you're interested in me speaking on in the future. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you think might benefit. Subscribe if you'd like. And I send you so much love wherever in the world you might be. Take care.